Hello and welcome back to yet another exciting episode of the Movie Hoppers. And if you enjoy our show, make sure to follow us on Twitter at Movie Hoppers. But most of you don't care about that. You care about one or two things. One, you care about our very special guest coming back again, Isaac from
The,
Molethu Studios. Would you like to
the
say hello
third
to the
time.
audience? Third time,
Well,
yeah.
yeah, third time. Hello. Well, I'm glad to be back
I'm
to
glad to.
review this new movie.
Yeah, very I feel like from the very first trailer, people probably felt very iffy about this one.
I
As
was very critical of this
mm,
one. Yeah.
yeah, I remember yeah, when the first trailer dropped, I was also extremely critical, but I've warmed up to a lot of the aspects that I did not like when I first saw the trailer. But
Yeah.
yeah, why be
Originally, too,
uh,
when I done research about this, it was
uh-huh.
supposed to be like a CGI. So we were supposed to get like CGI Tom and Jerry, but thankfully that didn't happen. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, this is definitely more anim well, this thing has been it's been like floundering in development hell for like a while since like
Yes.
2009, ever since
Yeah.
Smurfs.
Yeah.
Uh,
It
thank
was supposed to be like based on the success of Alvin and the Chipmunks, but thankfully we didn't
yeah.
get something like Alvin and the
That
Chipmunks.
would have been very, 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 very bad.
I would have given it like a negative 5 out of 10 or something if
Yeah,
that happened.
thank God that fad died out. The
Yeah.
realistic animated. But okay, so if you could not tell, we are reviewing Tom and Jerry. Um, not to be
The
confused with
movie.
Tom and Jerry, the movie that came out in what, like the 90s?
1992, that was a disaster.
Yeah, the Hanna-Barbera one. No, this is Tom and Jerry, the movie 2021. Um, so as I
Yeah.
said, a lot of controversy here. But you know what? And I might get flack for this, and I might lose all credibility. But I liked it. I liked this movie. Thought it was fun. Um,
I had like very mixed opinions about the movie.
mhm.
It was like it's okay, it's not necessarily like a bad movie, but it's
Mhm.
not a good movie either. That's
Mhm.
the thing. Like there are things I enjoy about this movie that I can praise, and there are things that don't make sense to me.
Oh yeah.
Uh yeah. Actually, like there's like one thing that like so like here's the thing, like there's like other live action animate 2D animation movies. Well,
Mhm.
actually, first off, I think it's t first to talk about like the animation in this.
All right.
From what I heard, I think they use like 3D like it's like technically 3D animation,
Yeah.
but like they use something to make it look like 2D animation, which I can appreciate. But like to me, it doesn't feel like 2D animation that much. What do you
Yeah.
think?
Well, I've looked into the animation. From what I understand, this is akin to what they do in some video games, like cell shading, where they just
Yeah,
yeah they basically just have a flat model and they put stuff on that. So like more
yeah.
details in the textures than the model itself, which I guess that's it's. I mean, I would have liked something that's like just completely 2D or like 2D live action. The it was sometimes it was bad, sometimes it was good.
I mean,
Um,
to me, it's like I watched a couple of clips before they like I watched the movie, and to me, it actually looked very noticeable. Like you can tell it wasn't rendered properly. That's the thing with this.
yeah, like the yeah, like the shading is like purposefully, I think purposefully like off a
Yeah,
bit to give it like more of a cartoony look. But I think my problem is the models. Well, none of my problems with the actual animation. It's more with the quality of the models.
yeah,
The like I've looked into it, and they specifically hired people who were versed in 3D animation but also had a passion for 2D animation.
yeah, yeah.
And like the animation itself is like good, but the I think like what everybody's problem is with like the models and the character design themselves. Um
Yeah, that's the like issue I had with
mhm.
this movie too. Like it didn't to me it didn't feel like 2D animation. Like there's no way you can replicate 2D animation because like well to me I think 2D animation is better than all forms of animation because
Mhm.
like it's well it's like it's not hard to describe how like 2D animation is because it really is like a huge. I don't know how to describe it, but
Like a lot of
something.
freedom.
Yeah, like a lot of freedom you can do with 2D animation. Like
Yeah.
there's so much freedom because like you draw every single frame.
Hmm.
But with like 3D animation, it's just like limited. Well, not
Yeah.
limited, but like it's still animation. Animation is like freedom, but like it's still limited nonetheless.
Yeah. 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 I understand that. I feel like the only reason why this is 3D, well, I guess there's two reasons. One, it probably kept the budget down just because, like
Yeah, the budget
doing
was like 50 million from what I heard.
Yeah, I mean, doing a 3D anime, well, doing a 2D animated live action hybrid, like movies have done that before, and like the Space Jam 2 is gonna do that again, made by the same
Yeah.
studio, but like that is extremely time consuming, and like with 3D animation, you can kind of cheat your way through a couple things, especially
I
with like
mean,
shading and lighting.
yeah, I would give it credit though, because it does look a bit like 2D animation. So like it's not a huge issue, but
Mm.
like it's sort of like an issue for me.
Yeah, like it's not as bad as it could have been. Like again, there were some times like specific scenes where I looked at it and I was like, yeah, something ain't right here. But like the whole time I was thinking, well, they could have gone the realistic route, you know.
Yeah. And it's like this was done like remotely during the COVID
Hmm.
pandemic, so I can give it credit where
Yeah.
like I can give them credit because they have done this like out like, during in their own homes too when they try to make it as good as possible.
Yeah. Yeah, of course there's gonna be problems with that, especially because, if the movie is releasing now, then a lot of the most prime, times in the
Mhm.
development of the movie was definitely done at home. But one thing I also found kind of well, at first, and this is going to be a controversial opinion, just bear with me. At
Yeah.
at first, I watched this movie and I was like, oh, Tom and Jerry, that's fun. But I absolutely hated the human characters, right? But
I kind of agree, yeah.
well, here's where the controversial part, like that is what everybody, that's what I expected. But as it went on, I kind of didn't hate the human part anymore, which I know I'm supposed to hate the human part because the human parts in all of these movies are always just awful
Yeah, they're always bad.
unless you're Jim Carrey and it's the Sonic movie. That's the
Oh yeah, that's a
exception.
different
Yeah,
story.
yeah, that's a different story. But I it wasn't as good as the Tom and Jerry stuff, but I actually did not hate the human parts of this movie, which
I mean, I can agree and disagree with that. Like the human characters, I'm gonna say they didn't feel like properly developed, and it
Mm,
just feels like some of the relationships were like rushed. Like
yeah.
from what I noticed, it's just like, oh, let's shove in this scene to have like character development. Overall though, like the human characters are just fine.
Mm,
It's just like they what I noticed is like the movie is like Tom and Jerry the movie, so I expect like the movie to feature like more Tom and Jerry
yeah.
screen time. But
Yeah.
it's just like it feels like Tom and Jerry only appeared on screen for like 30 minutes while like much of the focus was on the humans, which is okay, but I feel like they were doing this because they expected us to know who these characters are. That's what I felt like. So that's why they just pushed mostly towards the human characters, but the human characters are like nonetheless like less developed than like Tom and Jerry themselves.
Yeah.
Like that's what I think.
Well, the reason why I think there's more emphasis on the human characters, and the reason why Tom and Jerry has had a very like bad, just putting it bluntly, like movie history. I mean, look at all other Hanna-Barbera cartoons.
Yeah,
Flintstones, Bugs Bunny. There's another one. Just like every other one, they've had their shot. They had multiple movies. Scooby Doo has had a lot.
I
Um,
that was awful.
yeah. But Tom and Jerry is just as recognizable as all those characters, but they don't get all these movies. And I think the reason why is that Tom and Jerry on their own cannot carry a feature length movie.
Oh yeah, that's the thing though, because
Yeah,
like
that's the
um
problem.
there was like a bunch of like Tom and Jerry movies from like that I remember watching as a child that like it was like straight to DVD, so
Yeah,
it
yeah,
wasn't
yeah.
theatrical. Yeah,
Oh
there was a
yeah.
bunch of like Tom and Jerry movies that I've watched, and
Hmm.
my God, are like it's like the point is like here's the point. It's like, oh, it's Tom and Jerry. Kids will love it. That's the whole point that they were trying to make with these movies because like at
Hmm.
this point like it just kind of feels tiring. Like the whole thing between Tom and Jerry, it feels tiring and like this movie. I don't know if this movie. No, this movie's not self-aware about it. I was gonna say it was self-aware, but no,
No,
it's like I don't think it is self. It feels self-aware, but like
at some
um,
points.
yeah, at some points it is self-aware. But here's the thing, like Tom and Jerry, yeah, cannot carry an entire movie, and there has been a theatrical movie in the
Yeah.
1992 version that I mentioned was so bad. I only watched halfway up and just watching the movie. It was so Disney-fied. That's the
Uh-huh.
term I'm using because like it's like Disney. They tried to make it like Disney because like Disney was doing so successful with their animated movies.
Hmm.
So they made Tom and Jerry into a musical, and they made Tom and Jerry speak the entire time, which I felt uncomfortable watching. Um, but yeah, Tom and Jerry cannot carry the entire movie. Like it's more towards like it's best if it was like kept short because
Hmm.
like there's like sometimes like I don't know how to describe it because like sometimes there'd be like old or new gags into the animation that like makes it fun. Plus like Tom and Jerry has like their own individual plots where either one wins or something like that. Like
Hmm.
I don't know well like what else to say, but like it feels better. Tom and Jerry feels better towards a more um cartoon short rather
Yeah.
than a full length movie. Obviously, with like Scooby Doo, like they're more suited to like a full length movie because like it's a mystery because like it's more suited towards that. Tom and
Hmm.
Jerry, they just have like the same thing going on since like the 1940s, so it's more suited towards cartoons than it is towards movies.
Yeah. Well, that's why I kind of see the human characters as sort of a necessary evil with while like in a movie like Smurfs and like Alvin and the Chipmunks and even Sonic, you kind of feel like they're unnecessary and it's like, well, like I don't know, I can't see why those characters wouldn't be able to
Yeah,
carry their own movies, but I think with Tom and Jerry it makes a bit more sense that they need some help boosting the plot. And I found some of the something surprising is that I found some of the human parts funny, which
yeah.
I did not
It was
expect.
It was unexpected for me too, because I
Hmm.
sometimes laughed at some of those, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, this is." I thought this movie would be awful, but no, it
Yeah.
actually made me laugh at some points,
Hmm.
which was unexpected.
Yeah. Yeah. Obviously, the Tom and Jerry parts were I like those. They were good because again, even with the kind of off models, the animation was still good, which is all
Yeah,
that really
there was
matters in the
like
end.
very strong references from. I don't know if counts as a spoiler or something, but like, there was like sometimes strong references from the original cartoons that
Yeah.
they replicated,
Yeah.
which I sort of appreciated. I felt like it's like they tried to make it feel like Tom and Jerry. They want to show people like, hey, this is the original Tom and Jerry or something. I don't
Yeah.
know, like I don't know. I feel like they were trying to respect it, and they did respect it really great with this like 2D/3D type
Yeah.
animation hybrid.
Yeah. Yeah, I think obviously the main problem with a movie that has Tom and Jerry in the name is the plot.
Yeah,
It is again, we're not going to spoil it, but it is so contradictory. It will say one thing and like but then the very next scene it will do the exact opposite. It's just the plot is just like awful, awful.
the plot to me, I describe the plot as like simplistic
Hmm.
because like there's like it's so cliche
Yeah,
because there's so many things that like I've seen over and over again, but like compared to other movies, it doesn't bother me that much
yeah,
because like they for some reason it kind of feels I don't know. Original is not the best word to describe it because it doesn't feel original, but like it's not like annoying compared to what I've seen like other movies like the Emoji Movie. Emoji Movie was like an annoying movie because like it's not original at all or not clever. This movie is somewhat clever, I think. I don't know if
well,
it's the right
the
term to use it. Yeah.
the plot isn't clever. I think it's the characters really.
Yeah, the
This
characters are yeah, that's what I mean.
the plot really only serves to, bring the movie from like joke to joke, from gag to gag, and that
Yeah.
is why even, it is a simplistic plot, but even then there's just so many like gaping holes in it, and just like things are just totally just it's really bad. Like even for a Tom and Jerry, like even for a movie that's so focused on character interaction and character comedy, like the plot is bad. But
Yeah, but
again,
I've
yeah,
seen worse Tom and Jerry plots, believe me, because I've
yeah,
watched most of them, and there is like there is a bunch of awful Tom and Jerry plot movies that I just like pulled my hair to. But like this movie, I never pulled my hair because like I found it quite enjoyable. It's like
mm,
it's decent, like it's passable, like I
yeah,
can stomach it. Like it's
yeah,
not compared to other like which is like completely 2D animated, and it's like surprisingly more annoying. Like those movies are more annoying than this movie. And like
yeah,
like the 1992 movie was like so painful to watch, but this movie like it's like decent enough. Like
yeah.
I can watch it.
Like the plot is really bad, but it does its job as like a set piece for the gags, and
Hmm.
I think that's good enough. And it runs in the background, and it's stupid, but you're like, whatever, it's Tom and Jerry. What the hell?
It's Tom and Jerry.
Yeah. What
What
what are you
like
gonna do? It's supposed to be stupid.
I'm pretty sure like people will defend it saying it's
Yeah.
just a kids movie, but
Yeah,
I'm not. I'm
that's not
like
fair.
it's like not really
Yeah.
fair because if people keep defending it as a
Mhm.
kids movie, then there's going to be
Yeah.
more bad content. I mean, I
Yeah.
can take Illumination as an example.
Yeah.
It's like people
Yeah.
defend them, and it's not
Yeah.
like really fair to other companies that actually put effort into their movies.
Yeah, I mean, I don't grade movies like this on a curve. When I say that I like this movie, I say that I like it. I'm not saying that I don't like it. I think kids will like it. I do like this movie. The gags are good. The human interactions are good. Um, that it does take a little bit to kind of get into, at least for me, because the beginning part with the pigeons was really cringy to me. I don't know if
Yeah,
that I was just like, oh no.
I was like, so okay, the pigeons sing a song. Like, I don't like the musical choices in this movie.
Yeah.
I don't know
Well,
if it's like, because like the musical choices feel unnatural, especially towards Tom and Jerry. But I think they were trying to modernize it,
yeah.
which okay, fair enough. But like, why these specific music? Why are these like specific songs? It doesn't feel like Tom and Jerry would like it doesn't feel like a Tom and Jerry movie would like listen to this or something. I don't know. Like,
Yeah. Yeah,
yeah, it's
I get what you're saying. It's something again at first like they really went all in on that rapping pigeon part. I didn't I was like that was really bad. But I kind of like
apparently
as
from what I heard, that rapping pigeon is voiced by the director
yeah,
himself.
Tim's story. I saw that
Yeah,
at the end.
I was like,
Um
okay, the director's bad at rapping.
yeah. Well, the music choices they did stick out. I that's another thing that I got used to. Like the plot. Um,
Mhm.
it's something that's like okay, it's bad, it's not good, but at the same time, it kind of plays in the background, and I wasn't paying that much attention to it. And even when I did notice it, I just kind of shrugged it off like,
Yeah,
whatever. It's not. It
yeah.
wasn't a big deal to me. I do understand how some people won't like it. It's definitely geared towards kids
It's yeah. There's a lot of
in that
uh,
regard.
points in the movie where it's like too modernized to the point where it's cringy.
Mhm.
Um,
Yeah.
I don't know if this again it counts as a spoiler, but like when Tom does the floss, that
Oh,
was
oh my
yeah.
god.
When did the floss die out?
The second it started. Um, yeah,
First
just
Sonic does the floss, then Tom does the floss. I can't wait for Space Jam to do the
oh yeah,
floss.
Bugs Bunny's gonna do the floss. Michael Jordan's gonna do it. Oh my god.
Imagine if that does happen.
No, but for me the worst the again, just the beginning of this movie was just not good for me. The scene where the main actress was like talking on her phone, on like the FaceTime thing.
Yeah,
It like not that it was cringy or anything, but they just did it like so it looked so bad.
it looks
Yeah.
so like
It was
yeah, I know what you mean. It's like
yeah, oh
so
my
bad. It's like
god.
not realistic. It like it looks as though they shot it with like a green screen, like the
Oh
phone
yeah,
was completely in green screen, and then
yeah,
they green screened in with like footage from the thing. It's like
yeah,
they don't know much about like what modern technology is.
yeah.
Plus, like there's a lot of references to Instagram too,
Hmm.
which I felt were like, why? Why does Tom and Jerry need to have Instagram or something like
Yeah,
that?
yeah. That was kind of weird. That there's a part where like that. Okay, whatever. Fucking spoiler talk. We'll go on. Do you have
All
anything
right.
else you want to say that's not spoiler? I don't want to. What?
Uh, Well, okay, so there, okay, before like yeah, before like this relates to the animation.
All right.
Actually, I think this counts as spoilers, so like whatever, we can just get into spoiler
Okay,
talk
it's
already
Tom
then.
and Jerry. Who cares? Just keep watching the episode.
The animation. I don't get why the characters are animated. And like, hear me out for a second, okay? So Space Jam has a reason why the characters are animated.
Hmm.
Who Framed Roger Rabbit has a reason why they're animated, while most of the characters are animated. Why does Tom and Jerry why do the characters need to be animated in this one? It's not like they are like from a different world or something and they need to go into this world or something. It's just like for some reason they're animated and it's just like the movie's not self-aware about this
Well,
and it feels questionable.
oh, well, I feel like that's just one of the things I just kind of accepted, like and suspending disbelief.
I
But
mean, like,
I,
it doesn't annoy me that much, but I'm just like questioning it because it's just like, why are they animated? Like, what's the point of them
well,
being animated?
I think the movie is kind of self-aware in the first scene. It's like where Tom is like scamming people, pretending to be a blind pianist. People are like, oh my god, it's a blind piano playing cat, and then when they realize he's not blind, they just say, oh, it's just a regular cat playing piano, and I thought that was kind of just like a little tongue in cheek joke, but I mean,
Yeah.
at at least all of the what I did like is that all of the animals in the movie were animated. Like I
I
kind of
thought,
like
like,
that, kept
to
it
me, I thought it
consistent.
was confusing. Like, I
Really?
don't get, yeah, for me, I don't get why all the animals need to be animated. I thought it was confusing at first, but like, it's something like you said before, it's like something I've accepted, but I'm just like confusing. Like, it's just like confusing why most of the animals are animated and some of them are just like not real. But like, I guess maybe they couldn't, maybe it's because they wanted to keep it animated to keep like potentially most of the dangerous jokes, like the scene with tigers and elephants,
Hmm.
more like cartoonish and more family friendly, which okay, I get, but I don't get why most of the animals were animated. But like again, it's something like I shrugged off too. It's
Yeah.
like it's fine.
Yeah.
Um,
I kind of saw it as like a stylistic or like a consistency choice. Like, oh, Tom and Jerry are animated because every other animal in this movie is animated. And
yeah.
I kind of saw it as like a stylistic choice. I liked it. I thought it was
I
a
mean,
good
yeah, I liked
choice.
it too, but I was just
Yeah.
confused the entire time why they were animated.
Mm.
To me, again, like going back to it, I don't get why the characters are animated in the first place. Like, again, like Who Framed Roger Rabbit and Space Jam has like a reason because they're all like from
Mm.
different worlds and they're just interacting with human characters because possibly because hey, we need your help or hey, some guy is trying to kill all the cartoons. Like, it's like that, and like the movies are self-aware. Who Framed Roger Rabbit and Space Jam are like way clever in like I
Hmm.
don't know about way clever with Space Jam, but like again like self-aware and way clever with their like type of animation choices and all that.
Yeah.
This movie is just like not clever that much, but
Hmm.
it's fine. It's Tom and Jerry. It's like
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah, I
Um
mean, I feel like if they were to go into like explaining that, I feel like that would like put too much emphasis on the plot, you know, like when
yeah.
it was kind of obvious that they were trying to have that play out in the background and just like be a set piece. Like if the whole beginning segment of the movie was like dedicated to explaining why the this animated and this human world like together, then I
Yeah.
feel like throughout the entire movie you'd have the audience like second guessing all of the logic in the movie and second guessing everything and expecting there to be like a basis and
Yeah.
so
I
that
mean, yeah, like I am fine with how it is, or like I enjoy like the well, not much of the character design, but I enjoy like the stylistic approach they went for it. But like I'm
Mhm.
still like questioning like again like I'm still fine with it, but I'm still wondering why they're still like animated or why they're like in
Yeah.
this human world. I mean, I read an article once. Well, I didn't read the article. I saw a title once about like why the characters were animated from the director, but I didn't bother reading it because I thought the movie would explain it. But no, the movie did not explain it.
Huh.
So yeah,
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
yeah.
But what other spoily things can we talk about? I mean, it's really hard to spoil a movie that like the whole plot line is just laid out in front of you within the first 5 minutes. You're
I
like,
feel
oh,
like
okay.
everyone could just instantly guess the plot right then and there from the trailers because it
Yeah.
feels that predictable.
Yeah.
Um, what about like the actors? How would you say the actors are?
Again, that's another one of those just this entire movie, and I feel like that this is why the tomato score is like so low and critics are hating it. It's
Hmm.
because you really have to go in with like an open mind and understand what this movie is, and I want to say put your expectations in check because that's not really what I did. If anything, I was too hyped for it. Just because of just because of the box office implications, whatever. I'm not gonna talk business.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I didn't like the main girl at first. Chloe, whatever.
Yeah,
Um,
I don't know her name.
I at first I didn't like her, and at the end I ended up tolerating her, the and basically it was like that with everybody else except Upper Peg, like the two bosses.
Yeah.
Like I thought they were mediocre at first, and at the end I ended up really liking them. And the uh the chef guy, which is played by a famous person but is on screen for all of 2 minutes, so it's like okay. um
Okay.
and the bride and groom were just like whatever. But yeah, I mean the acting was well, I said I really liked them. I like them enough. It's passable.
Yeah.
It's it's pass. It again. It's another one of those things that you kind of just have to let happen because if you
Just
go
yeah,
in,
let
yeah, if you
yeah.
just watch the first part of the movie and like, oh, I hate this movie now. This movie's gonna suck. I'm done. Shut brain off, gone. Then
Hmm.
you're not gonna like this movie. But I feel like if you stick around, the acting is one of the parts that does get better. What do you think?
Yeah. I think what bothered me the most was like the main actor's acting because like it doesn't feel like it doesn't feel believable, I guess,
Hmm.
because like there are certain moments in the movie like where the scene where Tom and Jerry like trash the hotel, she doesn't feel like, oh my gosh, is this, or maybe she was, or maybe I didn't like pay attention that much, but like she didn't feel what a normal person would like react to or something like that.
Hmm.
It's just like her acting was like there are times where her acting is just okay, but most of the time it's just like she doesn't feel like it doesn't feel believable. I just
Yeah.
feel like they could have casted someone else,
Yeah,
but
well, if you look on the Wikipedia page, the people they basically considered everybody for this. Like Jennifer Lawrence was considered, and like just I don't think so. Just like but if you look at I don't remember all their
yeah.
names. If you look at the
Uh,
Wikipedia page, it's crazy the amount of people they
yeah.
considered for this role. So I'm guessing she was just kind of a bottom of the barrel pick. Um,
Yeah.
but what I think is like okay about her is the fact that she isn't extraordinary. Like if you think about it, the other two boss actors,
Mhm.
I forget their names, but I know them. Um, they they are much better, and I like them more. But at the same time, this Chloe actress, she's the one who spends all the time with Tom and Jerry, right? And when
Yeah.
I watch a scene with Tom and Jerry, yeah, I want the focus to be on Tom and Jerry. So her acting being kind of iffy, uh, kind of like inadvertently. I'm not saying they did this on purpose. It's a complete accident, but I feel like it kind of put the focus in all the right places. Um, because when she's talking to another character, you get to enjoy that the other actors acting, and when she's interacting with Tom and Jerry, you get to enjoy Tom and Jerry. She's kind of just like just
There.
yeah, basically like everything else in the movie, besides the jokes,
Yeah.
certain actors and Tom and Jerry themselves, they're just there as a container for just funny stuff, I guess.
Yeah.
They're
I
just,
have
yeah.
Uh, yeah, I have talked to a couple of people about the actor that was in the movie, and they kind of claim that her acting was like always bad, from what I've heard, or maybe like, yeah,
Uh,
like I don't know
I don't know.
actually.
I don't. I feel like I've seen her in something before. Like she's
She was
recognizable.
in Diary of a Wimpy Kid, but I forgot what
Uh,
she played. Maybe I think it was the bully character or something. I don't know, but like they said like her acting wasn't always good in most movies, which okay, that's fair enough. That's like that could be a reason why her acting was like this, but at the same time, it could be something like I felt like it's something that she wasn't able to work with, or maybe because
mm,
of the director. It
yeah.
could be either one, or maybe it was just like done purposely, I guess. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I don't think it was done purposefully. Like even the thing where I was saying was I was defending it. I feel like that was just kind of a happy accident. That
Yeah.
I mean, it's certainly possible that she's just not a good actress. I mean, I looked at the movie list and I was like, oh wait, I have seen a lot of these. I just forgot about them, which is not good. But yeah, yeah, she's whatever. I took her as more window dressing,
Yeah.
for the rest of the movie. Everyone else does their part fine enough, so it's like whatever.
There's
You know,
like one thought that was like arguing against me, but I thought it was like just fine. But I don't know about like if Michael Peña passes off as a compelling villain or something like that. It's just like something that bothered me or something. It's just like a thought of mine that like is not really important or necessary, but it's just like I don't know if it could be just me or something. Like I don't know if
yeah.
like Michael Peña is like passable as a villain or something. That's the thing.
Well, yeah, I mean, his arc just overall is just kind of rushed. And
Yeah.
that plays into the whole plot thing. I liked him like when he became a villain. I thought like before that he was kind of flat. I thought like he wasn't like ultra threatening or ultra scary, but he definitely seemed like he was crazy, and
Yeah.
so I kind of I kind of bought that.
Yeah. There were
So
some
yeah.
parts I enjoyed about his character.
Mhm.
Well, besides that, the fact that it's Rush, it's like I really liked his antagonistic, character in the movie because I thought it was like entertaining. Plus, he is funny and like most parts, I have
Mhm.
laughed at most of his like dialogue or stuff like that in the movie, which I kind of was like, okay, that's actually good. Like I mean, certainly he is a better actor than the main actress herself, but
Mhm.
like overall, to me, it just bothered me to think that like, was he a good, compelling villain?
Yeah.
Because like, again, he is good in this movie, but like overall, would he be like, I don't know, like, is he a good, compelling villain? Like
Uh,
overall,
I mean, I guess if this again, if and I feel like I'm giving this movie a lot of just a lot of exceptions, but I mean, really, it's if this movie focused more on plot, then it could have been more of a problem. But it didn't, so it's not something that I really specifically noticed. And
hmm
like, yeah, I mean, again, I know what this sounds like. It's like, oh, the acting doesn't matter, the character, nothing matters, nothing matters. It kind of feels like I'm being like biased towards this movie, and
yeah,
I mean, I don't think I am, especially since in like the first 30 minutes I didn't really like it. It wasn't until afterwards, but
yeah,
also because this movie, I don't know. It feels focused to me. You know, like the plot's not good, but it moves everything along at a good pace. The character models aren't good, but the animation is. The a- the actors aren't doing amazing, but the jokes are funny enough to carry themselves. And I feel like everything in this movie kind of trades off for something
yeah,
else. Like this isn't good, but it's so we can put focus on that. So it's kind of, I mean, it's kind of hard to critique this movie in that way, as I say 34th minute of this episode of us reviewing a Tom and Jerry movie, but it's kind of hard to critique it in that way, just because this movie, I feel like the strongest aspect of it is that it is, focused, but if you pick at it and if you tear out the seams, you definitely see some problems.
There's like the thing is like it's a movie that I would definitely watch again
Yeah,
because
sure.
like it's entertaining at the very least. It's like it's a movie I would watch like a couple more times, then get bored of it, then watch it a couple times again.
Mm.
Like once more, like it's like entertaining the very least, and that's fine as it is.
Uh-huh.
Um, it's not a bad movie, nor is it a good movie, but it's like again, it's a movie I would watch sometime like over and over again.
Yeah, it's not the type of movie that's meant for analysis.
Yeah,
It's not meant for a 40-minute long review
yeah.
episode. So that's why I kept saying, I recommend this because, um but
I mean, I feel as though like adults can also enjoy the movie because
yeah,
like
sure.
it's not boring because
Hmm.
it's entertaining the very least. Like
Yeah.
again, yeah, the plot is bad, the character design, the animation is just like everything is just passable, but it's just like there's like something about it. I don't know what it is, but like it's just something that makes it like entertaining the very least. It could be
Yeah.
because of the jokes, the gags, and all that. It's entertaining overall, and it's something again I would watch again over
Yeah.
and over. Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, it was funny, and that really surprised me. It made me laugh at all the places that I didn't think it would make me laugh. So that's good. And yeah, I mean, I guess my advice to anybody who's thinking of seeing this movie is just power through those first 30 minutes, because for me at least, it sucked. But after that, it is an enjoyable movie. Well, maybe 30 minutes is kind of a
yeah,
maybe that's too. I don't know. But power through that first part of the movie. Get to the part where both Tom and Jerry are in the hotel, and I think that was where it got good for me. Where Chloe whatever hires Tom on. That's where it kind of got funny, or at least
yeah. That's where it
significantly
kind of got
funny.
like actually better because like the
Yeah,
moment where like Tom like where like there's like a second standoff possible yep
yeah, yeah,
between Tom and Jerry it's like it gets better that's like
yeah.
that's the moment
Yeah, stick
um
stick to that point. That's my recommendation. Even if you don't like the movie at first, just stick to that point and see what happens.
yeah there's like a couple of things I do like about the movie like
Hmm.
I don't know like the cinematography is like one thing I like because like there's like certain moments where it's like okay this is impressive because like they
Yeah.
have to follow like the moments where like Tom and Jerry have to do this long scene. There's like a couple of long scenes too. There's like one scene where like Tom sets a trap for Jerry,
Oh
and
yeah, I
it's just
like
like
that.
yeah,
Yeah.
that scene was like really well shot. I kind of appreciate that. I also noticed that the some of the shots are like full of color. I
Oh
guess
yeah,
like
it's a colorful
yeah,
movie.
yeah, it's really colorful compared to like other live action, well, presumably Disney live action movies. But
Hmm.
yeah, it's like full of color. It's like full of life. It's like this is how you make like a cartoonish type movie or something like that. It's like that. It's full of life. That's the thing, and I appreciate that movie for doing that type of route
Uh-huh.
because like I kind of got engaged with that, and I actually appreciate the color and the composition they did with this movie.
Hmm. Yeah. I mean, I saw this in Dolby Cinema, which is kind of like a heightened color, heightened sound and stuff. And yeah, I did notice the color, especially in the exterior scenes. Just full of light. Not, I feel like a lot of movies these days are afraid to show really bright colors, but this movie just goes out with it, and I like that. And the sound design, I like that. Not the sound design in particular, but just how it was mixed. It really had a good, thump to it. And I know you can't really comment on that because you're watching it
Yeah,
on,
yeah, I was
yeah, but
watching on my phone.
yeah, but just take my word for it. It is worthy to pay the extra whatever $5 to see it in Dolby if you do decide to see it in theaters. Um, it does have a good kick to it. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, I mean, I don't know. Is anything else you want to say about this?
Um, I don't think so, because like most of all, like it's like basically what we discussed. Like again, much of this movie is like pretty much passable,
Uh,
especially since like it's a bit cliche. But like again, it's enjoyable. It's like surprisingly a movie that I would watch over and over again until I get
yeah,
bored, and then later on watch over and over again because like it's an entertaining movie and it's not like not boring or like annoying. It's funny.
yeah, yeah. Do you wanna get into the number ratings?
Oh yeah.
Do you want to go first, or do you want me to go first?
You can go first.
All right, so I'm gonna clock this one at a 7.5, just because, and I know that people can be like, whoa, that's pretty high, but honestly, like, again, a lot of problems, but this movie does have like an oddly like good sense of focus, in sense of just what it does what it needs to do. It's fun, it's funny. Tom and Jerry, the animation is good. Character models, whatever. But the animation itself, is good. It's fluid. It looks, good enough. Everything else besides the essentials are good enough. So for that, I can recommend it. 7.5. Go see it. What do you think?
I give the movie a 5 out of 10. I know it's
Okay.
like a lower rating than yours, but mostly because like it's again, it's not like not annoying, but like I just got annoyed by like by
Hmm.
some of the questions I had in my head, like why are they all animated or stuff like that. Again, it's like not important, but I felt like it was important. The plot, I think it could have worked better, but overall, it's like a Tom and Jerry movie, which is why I think it's all right. But like I think like it kind of deserves a bit more than that, but than that. So, or maybe I could just like 5.9 out of 10. That's like the highest I'll give it. 5.9 out of 10.
5.9. Okay.
Yeah,
Almost a
that's fine.
6. This close to a 6. You couldn't give him a 6.
You know what? I'll give it a six. I'll give
There
it a
we go.
six. Yeah, I'll give it a
Hey.
six. Okay, I'll give it a six. You know, it kind of deserves a six.
Yeah. On the movie, usually on the movie hoppers, like the 6 and above is what like is considered passable. So it works
Oh yeah,
out. So
this
6
movie
sounds
is
good.
passable in
There
that
we
in
go.
this sense. Then yeah,
There we
then
go.
yeah, 6 out of 10.
All right. So thank you for coming on yet again, Isaac.
Yep, I
Uh,
can't wait for next week's. Well, was it next week's episode or
yeah.
something like that? Oh,
Next week is Ray the Dragon.
yeah,
Uh,
Ryan the Last Dragon. Yeah, I
yeah.
can't wait
Yeah.
for that.
Yep. So and just in case you do like animated movies, or animation in general, make sure to check out Molethu Studios. The link will be in the description.
And I
Um,
will be also doing like a full length review or something like that.
all right.
If you want, yeah, if you want to check that out too.
Just,
Unless you want to join too, Joe. You want to do like a
I
scripted
mean, maybe,
collab?
yeah. I mean, maybe we can talk about that.
Oh yeah, sure.
But
Yeah.
yeah, yet another thing to look out on Molethu Studios. So yeah,
Yep.
subscribe up to that, and remember to follow at Movie Hoppers on Twitter for updates and information. And thank you guys for watching. And goodbye.